Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Mike and this is Mala Collectibles. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to take a look at the Sota Toys Pumpkinhead figure. I just got this one in a couple days ago, 2 days ago, and I was really excited about it. I wanted to do a video right away. I was able to kind of look it over a bit, but to be honest with you, this is kind of my first good look at it, and I figured I'll do it on the video and just give you guys my kind of my first thoughts on it. I've seen some videos on this, just YouTube videos, and that led me into looking into Sota Toys. I was not really aware of them. Like, I think this figure is from like 2006, somewhere in there. So that was before my time of knowing about these figures or collecting or anything like that. So I'm kind of discovering this just through YouTube videos and stuff. And Pumpkinhead the movie is not something I really grew up with. I was aware of it. I own it. I've seen it a bunch of, not a bunch, but I've seen it a few times. I really like it, but it's not one of the, like Predator, Alien, Terminator, like the movies I grew up with that I could, I haven't seen them in a while and I could tell you every single line from the movie. So I love this creature. I'm a big fan. I've mentioned in some other videos of Stan Winston. So I originally, when I saw the movie a few years ago for the first time, I was really intrigued by it. I had heard about it, but I have a Stan Winston, like the book, and it went into a little bit more detail about, this creature and Stan Winston, and, that was the first movie he directed. So that kind of intrigued me, and that's what made me go check out the movie. And it's not my favorite movie in the world. I like it. There's things about it I really love. I mean, the creature is the main... It's an awesome creature feature. The atmosphere of like the woods, it's got that great look of those movies in the 80s of like, and before that, but I mean like like when in the woods, when it's like there's the fog and the smoke, and it's just that real creepy atmosphere, and like the witch in that movie is so cool. So after having seen it a few times, I was looking, I got an idea because I have a bunch, if you guys have seen my videos before, I have a bunch of Predator figures, and that's like my main, like my favorite creature, and that's the main part of my collection. But I started thinking after a while, like somewhat recently, of changing up a bit, and I thought of like just like the kind of the classic, not necessarily the classic monsters as in terms of like Frankenstein's monster, the werewolf, the mummy, that stuff. But like, what are just like my favorite creatures and monsters in movies and everything like that? And Pumpkinhead became one of them. And then I thought, I'm like, man, it'd be cool to have like a kind of like a designated section in my collection of like Stan Winston stuff, because I'm such a huge fan of his, and he's such a huge part of, he's a huge part of like the stuff that I loved growing up, and now, and still now. But so I thought that would be cool. That led me down to like looking into Pumpkinhead figures and statues and models, and there's some really cool ones. And I kept coming across this Sota Toys one, this figure, and then I also saw some videos on YouTube of guys making this figure into like a statue, filling the seams and locking it into a pose, and even some guys have made a base, and that's what I want to do. This sculpt is so good, and this figure is so good that I started looking for this, and then I was going down eBay, because this is an older figure. So I kept looking on eBay, and the prices were pretty crazy. I'll be honest with you. Like for a while I was watching them, and I mean, it's a cool figure, but the prices are way up there on a lot of them. So I was holding off, and I kept looking around. And you guys, if you guys are familiar with my channel, I just put out a video last week. My previous video, I found this really cool Pumpkinhead bust. It's a smaller scale. It's the whole bust is about 7 inches tall, and it's just like the torso. But man, is it really cool! And I had been looking for a full scale Pumpkinhead for a while, and this one was the one I wanted, but it was so expensive. I kind of resigned myself to like that bust was awesome. I'll get that, and that will be my Pumpkinhead, representation in my collection. And I got it, and no joke, maybe 2 or 3 days after I got it, this figure went up on eBay at a really good price. Now, it didn't come with the original box or anything, and it's kind of banged up, but the price was really good. So I ended up making an offer, and the guy accepted it. And then, a week later, whatever, I got this. So I was looking for Pumpkinhead for a long time, or not a super long time, but I was looking for it for a while. And I was, halfway thinking like, I don't know, man, I might not be able to get a cool one. And now I have 2 cool ones within, a span of a week, 10 days or whatever. So patience is the key, I guess, But I will say too, just in case if anyone else is looking in a similar spot like I was, I did see, I believe it was on Etsy or maybe eBay, or it might have been on both. There was a pretty cool 3D print model that I really liked it. It was a Pumpkinhead, but I wanted him standing up. Like this one, the model I'm thinking of, and if you just type that into eBay, like Pumpkinhead 3D model, or I think that's what I typed in, Pumpkinhead 3D model, or just model kit. It was awesome, but it was like he was like crouched over on like it was like a wooden base. I can't remember exactly what it was, and it looked cool, but I wanted him standing up full. Like he's such a tall, imposing figure. Like I wanted him standing full up. So like I hesitated on that one, and it's all. I mean, it was really cool from what I saw. File, and I think if you guys are looking, that would be a cool one to get. But I wanted the full standing up. I want the full presence of him. So I'm very glad I waited and was able to get this one. But anyways, the figure itself is really cool. Like I said, I got this from eBay, and it's of course it's an older figure. It's used or whatever. I didn't get the box with it, but I got it for a pretty good price. And I love the sculpt on this, man. Like I said, I'm not an expert on Pumpkinhead. I've seen them. I own the movie. I've seen it, a handful of times. I do like it, but Pumpkinhead is not a creature that I grew up with. So, like, if it was a Predator figure or something, I could say like I could probably nitpick a little bit of like, oh man, maybe the head sculpt's not exact. It's good, but the movie is this way, or the paint scheme is that way. I don't know Pumpkinhead that well. When I look at this looks just like the movie to me. The sculpt, the paint, the paintwork, I like it, but it's definitely, the weaker point if you're talking about the sculpt and the paint. But that's because this is a figure that's, I think, about 20 years old, and it was only, it wasn't expensive. I saw videos, I'm not sure, but like I think this thing retailed for like 50 or 60 bucks. Granted it was 20 years ago, but like this thing's huge, and the paint job is good. It's just not as good as the movie, but I mean the movie paint job is fucking awesome, and the creature's incredible. So like you're not going to replicate that on a $50 figure, especially when it's, I think this thing's like 19 inches tall or something. So I got this thing. I was looking for it. I was fully, my plan for it is to make it into a statue. I've seen some really good videos on that. I know other guys have done it on YouTube. That's kind of what gave me the idea, if I'm being honest. But yeah, my plan is to make it into a statue. So I'm going to fill up the seams. Um, I'm gonna hopefully give it a base. It's big, so like this turntable's 12 by 12 by 12 or whatever, 12-inch circle. So I'm gonna find something for that. I don't have an exact plan for the base yet, because I did just get this thing in. But I love that the scene where he goes into the abandoned church towards the end of the movie. That's my favorite, scene in the movie, or that is so cool. But I've seen, I think the sideshow statue and the PCS one, if I remember correctly, is like just in the wilderness with like the pumpkins on the base and stuff. So I might do something like that. I'm not sure. I'm gonna give it time. I gotta see how it fits and what I can actually do, and find a cool concept, but one that I can actually do decent so it looks cool. I don't want to have this awesome figure and then have some garbage base, because I'm not that good at sculpting or creating the base. But let me show you guys the figure a little bit close up, because I've been rambling here for a minute. Also, if you guys have this figure, because I bought it used, so you can see like there's some seam lines here by the toes. The other toenail here, that's kind of like what dogs have. By the knee. And then like this one, like I said, I got used, so I'm not sure, like I don't think there's articulation there. So I'm guessing that's just how the toy was put together. Like it probably came in pieces and then they put that together. I don't think that's supposed to articulate. But if you guys have this, let me know, because honestly, I'm not sure. It seems like probably not, but let me know. And then you got, the tail was a separate piece. I put that in, or you just kind of key it in or whatever. It's bendable, kind of. I had to heat mine up quite a bit for a while, and then like it still kind of has gone back to its original in the package, or what it was like in the package. So I'm gonna have to heat it up again and try to pose it and hopefully get it to stay. The biggest seam line by far is on the back here in the waist, and the waist is very, very loose, I guess, that joint you would say. So I could, I could barely touch it and it'll start sliding around. Again, that doesn't bother me. I know this is a used figure and I know it's old, so it's not going to be perfect. But this is going to be probably the hardest one, or I guess the most work to fill this seam. The hands rotate, these will articulate right here on the wrists. I'm going to try to just line it up like as the veins are. So I'm not going to mess with it too much, and then just fill that seam. Of course, the shoulders, you can move the arms at the shoulders, and then the head. And then same thing on the other arm. You got the wrist. But this is like kind of like the knees, where like you see this seam line, but this does not articulate. So if you guys have this figure, let me know, because I'm not sure. I would assume that's just how the toy was, but again, I wasn't around, I wasn't into this when it came out, so I'm not sure. And then the shoulder, same thing. It looks like that's the seam line where they connected the head to the neck. Killer head sculpt. The sculpt on this thing is incredible. And I like the paint too. Like I said, I'm not knocking the paint job. I just think the sculpt is much better. The black inside of the black mouth, the inside of the mouth kind of looks black. I think that could definitely be improved. I'll have to rewatch the movie again, but I remember it being more like fleshy and deep, like a deeper purple tone, not so much like this looks almost black to me. The cool like whited out eyes. It's just a really, really cool sculpt. I didn't even show the back yet. I mean, he's got like these collarbones sticking up, the really like defined rib cage where he looks really like sucked in, and you can see the spinal cord and going into the tail. So I love this creature design, and yeah, like even the rib cage is real, like pronounced. So cool, so weird. I don't know, man. This is just I'm just really happy to have this, man. Like I said, I was looking for a while, and I was really thinking like it wasn't gonna happen. I'm like, there's just the prices are pretty up there, and I would have loved to get the box too, because I don't really care about the boxes most of the time. They just go in, they go in a closet or whatever, so you're not really looking at them. But this one was awesome, so it would have been cool to get the box, but for the price I got it, I'm just glad to have the figure. That's the main thing. So I'm not going to be working on this one anytime soon. I do have some other stuff in the pipeline I'm going to be working on first. I'm going to do that bust first for sure as far as Pumpkinhead goes, but I do have just some other kits and stuff I want to get going before I start working on this. But the cool thing with this one is I got it, I have it over here like in the corner on that shelf. I mean, obviously it's not there now, but like it's going right on the edge there, and it looks awesome. I don't need to work on it yet to enjoy it, and that's part of why I wanted to get it too. Is like because I know I'm not gonna start painting this guy right away, but like I think I've had it for 2 or 3 days, and like every time I come home from work, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm so glad I got this, man. It really helps escalate or make the collection cooler looking, so but anyways, guys, I'll do another video in the future when I get to work on this guy and paint him up, and hopefully I could do do a good paint job on and do this sculpt justice, because this thing is awesome. But I just want to show the fit. I just decided to make this video a few minutes ago. Before I started, I was just looking at it. I'm excited to have this thing, and I figured I haven't been making a ton of videos recently, so I'm just gonna get one out there of kind of my raw thoughts on this this figure. And I messed with the pose a little bit. I do think that like this is probably how I'm gonna keep him. I messed around with the arms a little bit. I had this right arm like reaching out like up more, but I think if I'm painting them, like then I want to have access as much as I could to the face and everything. So I like this. It's a bit of a neutral pose. There's nothing too crazy about it, but I think this is how I'm going to keep them. And then I'm going to work on finding something to make a base on. If you guys have any ideas for a base, feel free to let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I have seen reviews on like the Sideshow piece, the PCS. PCS has 2 of them, right? I think the 1/4 and the 1/3's coming out or whatever, but I've seen pictures of them. And then like I think Syndicate Collectibles has a cool one, like with the church, with the doorway and everything, which I thought looked awesome. So, but guys, feel free, let me know if you have this figure. Let me know about that articulation, because again, I'm not sure about that. If you guys have painted this up or made it into a model and made bases, let me know. Or if you have ideas, you guys, some of you guys are going to be more diehard Pumpkinhead fans than I am. If you got ideas for the base, please let me know, man. I want to discuss this stuff with you guys. That's really the main reason I'm making these videos is, I like all this stuff, but I'm not like I want to be in front of a camera type of guy or whatever. There's nobody, nobody like in my day-to-day life is into this stuff. So I like watching YouTube videos, and I like watching what other people do, and it's just stuff I enjoy. So I'm hoping that you guys feel free to comment if you have questions for me, or just comment about the figures or the statues that we're talking about, or even just the movies, whatever, man. Everything's fair game. So thank you guys very much for watching. I'm hoping I'm gonna keep making some more videos here. I don't want to have such a lull in or such a gap, I should say, in the videos. But so I should have some more coming up here. And again, guys, feel free, message me, comment below any of your thoughts on this thing, any ideas. Everything's fair game. Okay, guys, thank you again, and I will see you in the next video.